Hey people, welcome to the channel, and in this case doing a more than fair comparison between between the two Drake ships. As always, keep in mind the kind of content that I do. I'm not a hater. I very much like Star Citizen. I just don't like all of the predatory monetization, especially all of the lies, just to make money. I get it, they have to make money, that's perfectly understandable, but then it's what you want to do as a player, what's more convenient for you, which is not always the same that the company wants. So CIG is now trying to sell the Clipper, that little bug right there, which is, it's kind of embarrassing. And the simple truth is there's no reason to buy that ship. I think they've cornered themselves at some point into this problem that they have. They need to sell more ships. Well, they don't need to do anything. They just want to sell more ships instead of focusing on actually delivering the game. That's been the problem for a while now. They have more than enough money. They just want to make more. And the way in which they make money is not making a great game. It's just concentrating on selling ships. But it gets to a point where how many ships do you actually need? Well, turns out it is already saturated. They're doing ships that are worse than the ones you already have. And this is a perfect example. So what you see here is the Cutlass Red. This is a Cutlass Red. It is the medical version of the famous Cutlass Black, one of the more versatile ships in the game. It used to be fantastic. Now, because of the different nerfs, because of the need to sell you bigger and more expensive things, it's a shadow of what it used to be. But still very much on that role of a little bit of a medium-sized ship, and it's from the same in-game manufacturer, Drake. Drake makes these quirky utilitarian-looking ships, kind of like bunch of things put together, bunch of spare parts. So that's what we have here. This is a Cutlass Red. This is how it looks from the inside. You have size 2 shield, much better than the size 1 shield that you have on the Clipper. You have 4 size 3 guns, exactly the same as in the Clipper. Right? Let me turn off the engines here. Let me get out of the seat, show you what we're dealing with here. So you have a little bit of a, you have 2 beds, not just 1, 2 beds. You have 4 gun racks. These are the older gun racks. You do have 2 utility lockers, and these ones have 1.5 SCU each, so it's a total of 3 SCU of loot that you can put inside these things. So let's say you're running bunkers, you're just doing missions, flying around, doing things. This is a bigger ship. It has a size 2 shield. It also has a size 2 quantum drive, which means it's much faster for quantum flights. When you're jumping from one place to the other, the size 2 quantum drive makes it much faster than the size 1 that the Clipper has. So I forgot about this. It has not just 2, it has 4 beds. Not only does it have 4 beds, it has 2 medical beds. Remember that since the beautiful minds of CIG decided to reward us with nerfing of the medical beds, you now need to spend 250k, I believe, so as to keep on using these after 2 uses. There's some consumable medical gel, so for each bed, it's just 2 times you can respawn. No one's gonna drag around a 250,000 alpha UC worth of medical gel. That makes no sense. It's stupid and greedy. You just respawn the ship, you just reclaim it. But here you have 2 of them, so the second time you die, you can come here, use the other medical bed, and you have a couple more. So you have 4 respawns here, and then you have 6 and 6. You have 12 SCU of cargo in here. Not only do you have 12 SCU of cargo, you can actually fit a motorcycle, even a little PTV vehicle, the little golf cart thing. It actually fits in here. I think that the Stevie fits in here as well. So this is a much better ship than the Clipper. The Clipper, not only is it worse, it's more expensive for real money. This is sold in-game. I think it's like 2-3 mil. It's not exactly cheap. Nothing is cheap anymore. Again, the desperation to make people buy with real money makes them sell things, for much higher prices. They multiplied by 5, even 10 times the price in since last year, I believe. So, this is the ramp that you have in the Clipper. It's a shitty little ramp. Nothing really fits in here. This is very tiny, and you have, again, 12 SCU, but given how narrow this thing is, maybe even a bike getting in here, but, even the little golf cart is going to be nowhere near as convenient as the other one, and I doubt what actually fits in here in the Clipper. It's going to be a tight fit for anything. Not only that, it's, again, the hull HP is higher in the Cutlass Red. The shield is much better in the Cutlass Red. Here you have size 1 shield. It's a very bad, very low level shield. Guns are the same, so you have 4 size 3 guns. And then the running around in this thing, it's so idiotic. You have your medical bed, you have a lower level in a tiny ass little ship. You have this lower level where you have the cargo, then you have this med bed, then you have this manufacturing area that does not even work. So why the hell? I mean, and it's ridiculous the way they lie. They said they really have no shame. It was yesterday that they said they would not add any more ships that do not have a functionality. Like doing this is already in the Carrack. Years and years ago, the Carrack was sold as something that would have manufacturing area, right? You have drones, you would have manufacturing for repairing components. None of that ever came true. If you still think they're going to live up to that word, you're an idiot. They will not. They just do not give a flying fuck about the things that they promised over the years. So anyway, second level, med bed, just 1 bed. Okay, so you can respawn a couple times. And then for the last one, going all the way up to this bullshit, 3 different levels. Here you have there's where you fly your ship and you have your bed. Now, what is it you have here in terms of storage? Not a whole lot. Let's see here. You have 650k. So, yeah, a little bit over half an SCU of cargo. But if you're going to run bunkers, having 2 lockers, having 3 SCU of storage, that is much better than this. You have the medical bed, but really, not much more. Not a whole lot of storage, actually very little storage. You have more storage in the cutter. So, yeah, the medical bed is nice, but heck, the Pisces has a medical bed if that's what you're really needing. It's much faster to get in and out, But most of all, the greatest big, elephant in the room, or the red Carrack in the room, the red Carrack, the red Drake in the room, is that this thing is sold in-game for reasonable money. Still, it's not impossible. But even more so, if you want to buy a ship, this, for real money in the website, is cheaper than the Clipper. So no, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It is beyond stupid, but I guess that's what total absolute greed does to people. Ridiculous nonsense like this. Like selling a ship for the same money or more, actually more money, than something that's already being sold that is clearly much, much better. Folks, have a great day. Take care.